This is Dan here with Ozark Radio News and News Team 7. We're having a conversation with Senator Brad Hudson. Thanks for coming in today, Brad.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we talked a little bit on KUKU earlier before we started in on this, but I wanted to try to take this chance to kind of share this with our general online audience as well, and kind of talk about what happened this past legislative year.
Yeah, so we had a good session, I would say, all in all. I was pleased to be able to get some bills that I worked hard on across the finish line. Some of them the governor has signed, some of them I'm waiting for the governor to hopefully sign, so that was nice to be able to get that done. And we accomplished some, what I would say, big ticket national attention type things, and we also got some good things done that you won't hear a lot in the media, but will help citizens of District 33 and all across the state of Missouri. So it was a good session.
What would you say are the most important pieces of progress that you made this past session?
So I would say when you look at pieces of legislation that I filed, some of the biggest items that I worked on was the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. That was something that we got across the finish line. Senate Bill 999, waiting for the governor's signature on that to protect children that have been born alive after an abortive attempt. This is necessary because of the language in Missouri's infanticide statute, because of the language in Missouri's Constitution, because of where we are. That was an important item for me to get across the finish line. Tremendous effort to get that out of the Senate, through the House, and to the governor. Also, Senate Bill 907 to protect business owners from frivolous lawsuits. We had an attorney in the state of Missouri that was reaching out to business owners and threatening to sue them because their websites were not ADA compliant. Now, when you look at business owners, they're just trying to pay the bills, pay their staff, maybe keep the lights on. The thoughts of expensive litigation is something that can be really intimidating, and oftentimes these business owners, feeling that, would just agree to settle. And it was a shakedown. Is what it was. It was an attorney trying to make money off of small business owners. It wasn't right. I filed Senate Bill 907, got it through the Senate, through the House, to the governor. The governor has signed it. It will be the law of the land in Missouri. This will give businesses time to correct problems that we have. We'll also give the Attorney General authority to go after anyone that would try to abuse businesses in this way. And this is a bill that, while I do work on some stuff that's kind of controversial and contentious a little bit, this is a bill that everyone voted for. We got 0 no votes in the Senate, in the House. It went through. So it was great to get done.
Now, what would you say would be one of the biggest difficulties that you ran into in this past season?
So I would say one thing that we're working on that has been difficult this session and will continue to be difficult next year is Missouri's budget. Yeah. As a lot of your folks probably know, I'm vice chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee. That means that I am, the vice chair of the committee that Missouri's budget goes through on the Senate side. We're in a situation here in Missouri where we don't have a bunch of extra money. We have to cut our budget to make sure that government lives within its means. Everyone's trying to balance their budget, right? It's not just happening at the state level, it's happening at the local level. And the constituents that I serve, they're trying to figure out how they're going to balance their budget while paying for gas, paying for groceries, paying for everything that seems to be going up. And so I've always been an advocate for making sure that whenever we have conversations in Jeff City, whether we're talking about government programs, government funding, anything like that, we need to understand that every dollar we spend is a dollar that we've taken from a hard-working Missourian. And so we need to scrutinize those dollars, and that's what we're going to do. We cut about $4 billion out of the budget. If you take last year's budget plus the supplemental, we're down about $4 billion from that. We're going to have to cut more next year. And those decisions are difficult decisions to make. I mean, as vice chair of Senate Appropriations, I've had people lined up outside my office coming and asking for appropriations for things. And it's good stuff too, but you can't pay for everything. Yeah. And it's not fair for the citizens that I serve to try to pay for everything. So we're going to make wise decisions, we're going to scrutinize every dollar, and we're going to pass that balanced budget that the Constitution requires us to pass.
So here's a question for you, and I don't mean to throw a curveball at you or anything like that, but kind of talking about tightening budgets and things of that nature. What would you say is going to be the biggest difficulty that Missouri is going to be facing within the next few years whenever it comes to the budget? And what do you think that Missouri needs in order to help prevent that or to alleviate it?
I'm glad you brought that up. There are probably several things that I could mention, but one thing I would like to put on everyone's radar right now is the One Big Beautiful Bill has within it work requirements with regard to Medicaid, people that receive Medicaid benefits.
A lot of people do, especially
And,
around here.
Yeah, they do. A lot of them do. So what's happened is now we've got a situation where the language in the One Big Beautiful Bill does not match the language in Missouri's Constitution. So we could be in a situation where if we do things differently than what the federal government is saying, we're not going to get money from the feds to the tune of at least $2 billion. Well, when we're already having to cut billions of dollars out of Missouri's budget, anyone that cares about, whether you're talking about roads, whether you're talking about schools, anything that the government, the state of Missouri needs to fund, we need, I think, a special session to pass Medicaid work requirements that match what's in the One Big Beautiful Bill so that we can be consistent with what the federal government is telling us to do, and so that Missouri's Constitution will be consistent with that as well. Or, like I said, we could have a $2 billion hole in our budget.
I mean, obviously that's a really big problem. Anybody who knows anything about law or politics can know that if there is not a matching language, things can be found out of compliance very easily by people who are just looking to cut costs.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem, obviously, for Missouri. I'm glad you brought that up. So are there any other things that you want to try to get out there, or any contact information you want to provide in case anybody's needing to reach out to try to look for what's happening in Missouri?
Well, I love serving the citizens of Missouri's 33rd Senatorial District. I mean, it is an honor to serve God's country, and always love it when folks from the district reach out to us, and we will try to help them in any way we can. So reach out to my office, shoot me an email at brad.hudson@senate.mo.gov. Reach out to us on social media, Facebook, State Senator Brad Hudson, X @Brad_Hudson_. It's always good to hear from the folks back home.
Well, we appreciate you coming in today, Brad. It's always good to have an update from the Capitol, and I hope you'll be able to give us some more updates here pretty soon as well, if there's anything else that's going on, and if there is, you know how to reach us too.
All right, let's do it. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you again. This is Dan Williams with Ozark Radio News and News Team 7. Hope you guys will tune in again for another video.